Welcome back, students. Today we are going to discuss part 3 of Unit 9, Application of Biology. Before start the main content, I would like to inform that the images used in our slides are for education purpose only. We respect intellectual property right of original creator and owner of these images. If you are the owner of any of the image used in this PPT, have any concern, any issue, please contact us at sathi@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the images. These are the main topics which we are going to discuss in today's video lecture, like domestication and introduction of animal, livestock, poultry, fisheries, improvement of animals, principle of animal breeding, major animal disease and their control, insect and their products like silk, honey and wax. Okay. So now let's start the topic. First one is animal husbandry. So what is animal husbandry? Animal husbandry. It is a agriculture practice of breeding. Okay. So it is a agriculture practice of breeding and raising livestock. Okay. So breeding and raising of livestock comes under this particular branch of agriculture science. Okay. This is known as animal husbandry. And this animal husbandry actually deals with the care and breeding of livestock like buffalo is there, cow, pig, horse, cattle, sheep, camel, goat, and all those animals which are directly or indirectly useful for human. Okay. And it also include in this particular category animal husbandry, it also include this poultry farming and fisheries. Okay. Fisheries include rearing, catching, selling of fisheries, right? And also mollusks, which is known as shellfish, and crustaceans like prawn, like crab. They also comes under same branch. Okay. So this animal husbandry is a branch of science or branch of agriculture science which actually deals with the care and breeding of livestock of all the animals, all the type of animals, birds, fish, which is directly or indirectly useful for human. Okay. Not only these animals, but also it include already I told you this poultry farming and fisheries also include in this animal husbandry branch. Clear? Okay. So bees, silkworm, okay, these are insects like prawn, fish, crab, bird. They all are useful for human. Okay, some type of insect gives us silk fiber. Some are responsible for the honey production, right? Some are responsible for the egg. Some with some animals we will get. We used to get milk, right? So these are the products like what is mentioned over here: bees, silkworm, prawn, crab, fish, bird, and all other animals like camel, cattle. These are useful for human for the production of milk, egg, meat, wool, silk, and honey. Okay, so they all are comes under this particular heading, animal husbandry, and it is estimated that more than 70% of the world livestock population is present in India and China. And this is very important question. Sometime question comes on this particular line. Okay, 70% of the world livestock population is present in India and China. Now let's understand the management of these animals. So management of farm and farm animals. So it is a professional approach to what has been traditional practice of farm management, give the much needed boost to our food production. It is a management of farms is a professional approach. Okay, so first one is dairy farm management. Dairy farm management, obviously this term explain itself. It is the management of dairying. Dairying is the management of animal for milk and its product for human consumption, right? So it deals with the process and system that increase yield and improve the quality of milk. So dairy farm management is mainly focusing on this to deal all those animal, their quality, okay, so that the product of that type of animal means cattle. What is the product? Obviously milk and meat also. So quality of milk should be increased or improved via this particular dairy farm management. Okay, so milk yield is primarily dependent on quality of breed which is present in that particular farmhouse. Okay, so if quality is good, superior, then obviously its product means milk yield also, what kind of milk which we will get is also of superior quality. Okay, so that's why it is written over here, milk yield is primarily dependent on the quality of breed in the farm. Okay, so the selection of good breed which are having high yielding potential under the climate condition of that particular area combined with the resistance to disease is very, very important. Okay, so high yielding potential with resistance to the disease is very important, right? For the yield potential to be realized, the cattle have to be well looked after. They have to be housed. Okay, so the cattle housed well in that particular farmhouse. The cattle is, in a the environment in that particular farmhouse is hygienic and clean. They in that particular area, adequate water is present there for the cattle, and that particular area, as I told you, hygiene means maintenance. That particular area should be maintained as a disease-free area for the cattle. Okay, if we want to produce more yield from those cattle, so all the cattle must be housed well in that particular area. There should be adequate water present for the cattle and the environment should be disease free. Okay, so the feeding of cattle should be carried out in a scientific way. Okay, with a very special emphasis on the quality and quantity of the fodder. Quality and quantity of the fodder. Okay. Beside stringent cleanliness and hygiene, for both means for the cattle and the handler, both cattle and the handler both maintain cleanliness and hygiene. Okay, but beside this cleanliness, the paramount importance, this is a very, very important aspect, that while during milking, cleanliness is required. Okay, hygiene is required. During their storage time also hygiene is required, and during their transportation. Okay, transportation of milk and its product. All the process, all these three steps should be maintained under a hygienic condition. Okay, but nowadays, of course, much of these process has been mechanized with the help of machine. So because of machine is involved, so it will reduce the chance of direct contact of the product with the handler. So because of the handling contamination, it will reduce the chance to get spoiled. Okay, because machine is involved nowadays. Okay, so ensuring these stringent measures would of course require regular inspections with proper record keeping. Okay, that all the hygiene parameters is maintained in that particular farmhouse or not, and cleanliness is there, adequate water supply is there for the cattle or animals, Okay, the environment is disease free or not, quality of breed is superior quality of breed is there or not. Okay, so this is how we can improve the yield type. Okay, now next one is the poultry farm management. So as the term itself explain, poultry means management of domestic bird. Okay, which is useful for our food or their product like egg. Okay, so poultry farm management means it is a class of domesticated fowl which is used for food and their egg. So in this particular poultry farm management, what kind of bird include? Like chicken, like duck, like turkey, like geese, as you can see in this picture. Okay, so this bird poultry is often used to refer to the meat of these birds only, but in more general sense, it may refer to the meat of other birds too. Okay, as in dairy farming, selection of disease-free, suitable breed, proper and safe farm condition, proper feed and water and hygiene and health care are important component over here also. Same qualities, same parameters is required for this type of farm management, means poultry farm management also. What? Selection of disease-free suitable breed first, safe farm condition, proper farm condition which is required for their growth. Okay, proper feed, proper water, hygiene, maintenance of hygiene in that particular farmhouse, and their health care. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. These are the same criteria, same condition is required for the healthy development of these birds. So if all the chicken and ducks are healthy, obviously their product, what kind of product we will get from them is also of good quality. Clear? Now let's discuss breeding part. Okay, so animal breeding. Animal breeding is an important aspect of animal husbandry. Okay, so animal breeding is actually aimed to increase the yield of the product and improving the desirable quality of the product. Why we need breeding? Because after breeding, we can improve the yield quality of that particular yield quality of that animal and the desirable quality in which we are interested. Okay, desirable quality of the product also we can increase through this breeding method. Now let's discuss the term breed. What is this breed? So breed is a group of animal related by descent and similar in most of the character. Okay, like their general appearance, their general features, the size of that animal, configuration of that animal. If a general features, size, configuration is same, okay, all those animals comes under same breed category. Okay, and now again two terms come under this breed: inbreeding and outbreeding. Okay, inbreeding means when breeding occur in between the animal of the same breed. Breeding occur between the animals of the same breed, then this is known as inbreeding. Okay, but when breeding or crossing occur between different breed of animals, then this is known as outbreeding. Outbreeding means crossing occur between different breeds of the animal. Inbreeding means when crossing occur between same breeding of animals. Right? Okay. Now let's discuss the first term, inbreeding. So inbreeding means mating of or crossing between more closely related individuals of same breed within same breed for at least 4 to 6 generation. Okay, so what is the definition? Inbreeding is the mating of more closely related individual within the same breed for 4 to 6 generations. So what is the strategy of this breeding? If we follow inbreeding pattern, then for this particular inbreeding, we have to use superior kind of male of the same breed and superior female of the same breed. Okay, so crossing between superior male and superior female occur of the same breed. Okay, so the progeny obtained after their crossing, after their mating, will have the property of both the parent, means they have the property of superior father and superior mother. Okay, so the progeny obtained from such mating are evaluated and superior male and female among them are identified for further mating purpose. Clear? So what is the meaning of superior male in this particular scenario for inbreeding? What are the characteristics present in this particular female type? Means in the cattle, superior female, we can use the term superior female for that kind of cattle or that kind of cow or buffalo, which is mainly we can recognize that particular cow or buffalo for producing more milk and more quality of milk. Okay, so superior female means a kind of cattle, it may be cow or buffalo, that produce more milk per lactation. Means a cow or buffalo whose lactation give us more quantity of milk. While superior male means bull, of course, so which give rise to a superior progeny as compared to other type of male. Okay, so this is how we can categorize, means in this particular breed, some animals or some individual cattle are mainly responsible to produce more kind of milk, or in superior male, the overall structure, overall characteristics, if we compare all the animal type, all those male or bull who are having superior quality, means they are built and all, we can consider them as a superior male and superior female. Clear? So this inbreeding means continuous mating of superior male and superior female occur in several generation. If several generation, then this inbreeding actually increase homozygosity. Means inbreeding is necessary if we want to evolve a pure line of any animal. So with the help of homozygosity, we can evolve a pure line of that particular animal. As inbreeding also expose harmful recessive gene that are eliminated by selection, right? It also help in accumulation of superior gene and elimination of less desirable gene. Okay, so therefore this approach where there is a selection at each step, it increase the productivity of inbreed population. So overall, this inbreeding actually increase the productivity of inbreed population. Clear? Okay. But there is a disadvantage also. Okay, like if we continuous follow this inbreeding practice, and especially close inbreeding practice, so it after some time this continuous inbreeding reduce fertility and even productivity in that particular line, and this is known as inbreeding depression. What is the right term for this? Inbreeding depression. So continuous inbreeding, especially in close inbreeding, reduce the fertility property and productivity also in that particular line, as you can see in this particular picture. This capital A means dominant allele is present in this buffalo. Here capital A small a means this one is heterozygous. Okay, they are mating. After they are mating, we will get this type of pattern. One is containing pure line, capital A, two with hybrid, capital A, small a, capital A, small a. Okay, gene pool. If we select this and this male and female partner for further mating purpose, then in the further progeny, this type of animal, this type of a progeny also we will get, in which both the recessive gene is present. Okay, so if both the recessive gene means small a is present, then in this particular individual, this is not having that much quality production of milk, and it also reduce fertility time. Okay, so that's why it is mentioned over here that this inbreeding depression also occur if continuous inbreeding is there in closely related breed members, right? Whenever this become a problem, like here, which just now I told you, whenever this become a problem, selected animal of the breeding, this one, selected animal of the breeding population should be mated with the unrelated superior animal of the same breed. Okay, unrelated superior animal of the same breed. And if we follow this kind of approach, then this approach help us to reduce fertility and yield. To reduce fertility and yield production will be increased after 2 or 3 generation. Okay, so this is how we can overcome with this inbreeding depression. Okay, so this is a very important point which sometime question comes with this particular line, inbreeding. What is inbreeding depression? Okay, now another term also come over here. This is all about the inbreeding. Now outbreeding. Okay, outbreeding means breeding between unrelated animal. If breeding occur between unrelated animal, like as you can see in this picture, this is 100% pure line of breed A, and this one is 100% pure line of breed B. If mating occur between this red and blue, after mating in generation 1, we will get a heterozygous type of animal, hybrid animal, which contains 50% property from breed A and 50% property of breed B. Okay, so breeding of unrelated animal occur in this particular process, outbreeding. It may be between individual of the same breed, but having no common ancestor for 4 to 6 generation. Okay, so outbreeding we can classify into 3 different types. If breeding occur between the individuals of the same breed but having no common ancestor for 4 to 6 generation, this is known as outcrossing. Right term for this is outcrossing. Okay, means same breed magar having no common ancestor for 4 to 6 generation. Okay, this is the first type of outbreeding method. Second type, breeding occur between different breed. Okay, breeding occur between different breed. That time we can use the term cross breeding for the same. Okay, this is again a type of outbreeding. Okay, or if breeding occur between different species, that time we can use the term interspecific hybridization. Interspecific hybridization for the same. This is again a type of outbreeding method. Okay, so inbreeding, what is the difference between inbreeding and outbreeding? Inbreeding occur between the same breed and between the same breed and individuals are the same for 4 to 6 generation, common ancestor. And outbreeding, breeding occur between unrelated animal. That's why it is written over here, unrelated animal, and this animal may be belong to the same breed, may not be belong to the same breed, or may not belong to the same species as well. And on the basis of the type of animal, we can further divide this outbreeding into 3 different categories. Clear? Now, let's discuss the difference between inbreeding and outbreeding. Inbreeding refer to the breeding of closely linked animal with a similar breed for 4 to 6 generation, while this outbreeding refer to the breeding of unrelated animal for 4 to 6 generation. Okay, unrelated animal means unrelated animal of similar breed. It may be unrelated animal of various breed, or it may be unrelated animal of various species, right? 1, 2, and 3. All 3 types of breeding just now we have discussed, right? Now, inbreeding improve homozygosity. So it improve and maintain the pure line of that particular race. While if we use this type of mating method, outbreeding, then it will create hybrids. Okay. In inbreeding, offspring are not superior to the parent. Offspring are not superior to the parent, while in outbreeding, offspring are always superior to the parent because of heterosis. Means in the offspring, both kind of character will come. Okay. In inbreeding, repeat inbreeding lead to decrease in productivity, decrease in the quality, right? And in outbreeding, repeated crossbreeding improve the, or we can say retain the superiority. Okay, so this is the difference between inbreeding and outbreeding. Now let's discuss all 3 type of outbreeding. First one is outcrossing, means mating of animal within the same species but having no common ancestor up to 4 to 6 generation. Okay, so such offspring of such type of mating is known as outcross. We can use the term outcross for the same. And it is the best breeding method for animal that are below average in productivity of milk production, growth rate in beef, okay, and other properties. So a single outcross sometimes help to overcome inbreeding depression. Help to overcome inbreeding depression as well. Okay. Second is crossbreeding, where superior male of one breed, when superior male of one breed are mate with the superior female of another breed. Means breeds are different. That time we can use the term crossbreeding. So this crossbreeding allow the desirable quality of 2 different breeds. Okay, desirable quality of 2 different breeds to be combined. Clear? So the progeny hybrid animal may themselves be used for commercial production. Okay, this is the very good example of this crossbreed. Hisar Dale. It is a new breed of sheep developed in Punjab by crossing Bikaner ewe and Merino rams. Female from Bikaner species breed and male from Merino species. Breed. So 2 different breeds, right? So Hisar Dale is a very good example of a newly developed sheep type in which mating occur between 2 different breed of sheep, Bikaner and Merino rams. Third type is interspecific hybridization, where mating occur between male and female animal of two different species, right? Two different species. So as this is the a very good example of interspecific hybridization. Okay, and what is mule? Mule is a um, hybrid between a male donkey and female horse. Male donkey, male donkey, and female horse. Clear? Similarly, liger is another example, which is produced by interspecific hybridization, in which male lion and female tiger, are act as a parent, okay, for the development of liger. Okay, so with the help of interspecific hybridization, we can produce a progeny type which are having quality of two different species. One male and female belong to different species type. Okay, so the progeny may combine desirable feature of both parent and may be considered economic value as mule. Clear? So controlled breeding experiments are also carried out using artificial insemination for the production of different variety of the animals. Okay, so in this artificial insemination, semen is collected from the male that is chosen as a parent and injected directly into the reproductive tract of the selected female by the breeder. Okay, directly into the reproductive tract of the selected female by the breeder. The semen may be used immediately or it can be frozen and used later on as well. Or it can also be transported into the frozen form to where the female is housed. Okay, in this way, desirable mating are carried out in animal husbandry branch. So artificial insemination help us to overcome several problems of normal mating. There is another comes under this particular heading, animal husbandry. This is MOIT. This is known as MOIT, means multiple ovulation embryo transfer technology. Multiple ovulation. Okay, so it is a program for herd improvement by successful production of hybrids. In this method, a cow is administered with a hormone known as follicle stimulating hormone, which actually induced follicle maturation and super ovulation instead of one egg. Now, after the treatment or after the because of the use of this follicle stimulating hormone, that particular cow is able to produce 6 to 8 eggs per cycle. Normally, that cow is mainly responsible to produce 1 egg per cycle, but after the treatment of this follicle stimulating hormone, if we treat that particular cow or buffalo type with this hormone, that cow is able to produce 6 to 8 eggs per cycle. Okay, so this is how the animal is either mated with an allied bull or artificial insemination. And in this particular, because of the treatment with this follicle stimulating hormone, if once we will treat, then what will happen? This fertilized egg at 8 to 32 cell stage are recovered non-surgically and transferred to the surrogate mother. Again, that genetic mother is available for another round of superovulation. Okay, so this is how we can very easily reproduce more valuable or more progeny with more superior quality, or directly or indirectly we can improve the herd type. Okay, so as it is written over here, the genetic mother is available for another round of superovulation. This technology has been This technology has been demonstrated for cattle, sheep, rabbit, and other animals also. Okay, high milk yield breed of female and high quality meat yielding bull have been bred successfully to increase herd size in a short time if we will use this particular type of method, MOIT. Okay, so high milk yielding female and high quality meat yielding bull is produced with this method. Now next is beekeeping. Beekeeping or apiculture. Beekeeping or apiculture. What is the definition? Apiculture is the maintenance of hives of honeybee and for the production of honey. Honeybee is mainly responsible for the production of honey and beeswax. Okay, so it has been, this process is an age-old cottage industry. Honey is a food of high nutritive value and also find us in the indigenous system of medicine. Okay, honeybee is also produced apart from this honey. I told you this is responsible to produce honeybee, which find many uses in industry like in the preparation of cosmetics, polish of various kind. So beekeeping is another a very important branch of animal husbandry science, right? So as you know, this increased demand of honey has led to large scale beekeeping practice. It has become a established income generating industry where whether practice on a small or large scale. Okay, this beekeeping can be practiced in any area where there is a sufficient bee pasture of some wild shrub, some fruit orchard and cultivated crop. There are several species of honeybee which can be reared, but the most common is Apis indica. Okay, this one is the most common. Beehive can be kept in one's courtyard or in veranda or even on the roof. Okay, beekeeping is not a labor extensive, but it requires some specialized knowledge. Okay, there are several organizations that teach beekeeping, and these are the important point for successful beekeeping. First one is knowledge of the nature and habitat of the bee. Second, selection of suitable location for keeping the beehive. Third, catching and hive of the swarm. Management of beehive during different seasons. Handling and collection of honey and beeswax. So these are the important points. So this bee are the pollinator of many of the our crop species such as sunflower, brassica, apple, and pear. Okay, so keeping beehive in crop field during flowering period increase pollination efficiency and improve the yield also. So this one is beneficial for both crop yield and the honey yield. Okay, now next category comes under this particular animal husbandry category is fisheries. Fisheries is an industry. This particular industry is mainly devoted to the catching, processing, selling of the fish, shellfish, and other aquatic animals. So fisheries is related to the fish catching, selling of the fish, and other aquatic animal. A large number of our population is actually dependent on fish and fish product. And not only fish and fish product, but other aquatic animals as well, like prawn, like crab, like lobster, edible oysters, etc. Okay, these are the some example of freshwater fish like katla, rohu, common carp. These are the example of some marine fish like hisla, sardines, pomfrets. Okay, fisheries has an important place in Indian economy. It provides income and employment to millions of fishermen, farmers, particularly with those are present in the coastal area. Okay, for many, it is the only source for their livelihood. In order to meet the other increased demand on fisheries, different techniques has been employed to increase their production. Okay, for example, through aquaculture and through pisciculture, we have been able to increase the production of aquatic plant and aquatic animals, both in fresh water and marine water. Okay, so nowadays we now talk about the blue revolution these days, in which fisheries and related marine animal, marine plants, how we can develop, how we can increase yield, okay, is included in this particular revolution, just like the green revolution. In the same line, we nowadays we also implemented all the important strategies which a time ago implemented for the green revolution. Okay, so this is all about the today's lecture. I hope most of the topics has been cleared now. Still you have any query, any doubt related to the today's video lecture, you can write down to me in the comment box. We will discuss it later on. Till then, take care, bye bye, and keep learning. Namaskar.